Kim Kardashian, in her monologue herself, said, "I don't know why I'm here. It's a Kardashian mystery. The tabloids, aka Kris Jenner, would like you to think the biggest Kardashian mystery currently is whether Kim and Kanye will get back together. We can and we will try to solve that fake mystery. But first, can we please solve the it's so obvious mystery of why Kim hosted SNL in the first place?"
Right, because that is, I think, the question that everybody has had, but nobody's really made any movement to answer it.
Yeah. And it's
of any kind.
And perhaps you could connect the dots. Perhaps, dear listeners, members of
dots. La, 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 la.
Thank you, Pee-wee. You know, for the listeners who play the home game, you are smart and astute, and perhaps you've connected these dots already. I'm sure others have connected these dots. But as I was reading these stories about the fake mystery, which we'll get to, Kanye, Kim, will they get back together? I don't know. Why a lot of people were asking, did Kim Kardashian, was she one of the first people to host the new season? Was she the first?
She was the second.
I was going to say, I knew she was one of the first to host the new season of SNL. And we read a blind item that suggested that even Jake Gyllenhaal, who has a current movie in theaters, was bumped for Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, in her monologue herself, said, "I don't know why I'm here. I don't have a movie to promote." But then you just do the "it's so obvious" math, which is
carry a couple ones.
Yes, and
carry
I did
a couple
this.
Butt cheeks.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Kim Kardashian, but
exactly, she does have a very nice butt, which she herself referenced in her monologue on SNL. So I began just doing the rudimentary math of Google, went to the Google box and said, well, okay, let's think about this. Who owns Hulu?
NBC, Comcast, and Friends.
It's the Walt Disney Company primarily, but little history, it actually was NBC that started it back in the day. But currently the owner is the Walt Disney Company. Okay. Mouse ears. But there's another outfit called Comcast, which you may have heard of, that owns a 33% stake in what goes on Hulu. Colleen, I ask you, what is coming to Hulu very soon?
Thank you for asking. The new Kardashian project, which is yet unnamed, or at least to our knowledge is unnamed, but is definitely being filmed as we speak.
So you've got a Hulu project, and then you're like, well, but what does Comcast have to do with anything? Well, Comcast, I don't know if you know this, I'm sure you do, a lot of people may not, owns something called NBC Universal. Interesting. Carrie the One, who is also part of that umbrella.
That would be Saturday Night Live, Bob.
Thank you. And I was digging around like the little, again, this is Google math, so please, I do not have a degree in connecting conspiracy dots. Actually, I do.
Yeah, you do.
But for the purpose of this research,
degree.
It was shorthand. And NBC, so SNL is SNL Studios. SNL Studios is part of NBC Studios. NBC Studios is a part of NBC Universal. NBC Universal is a part of Comcast. It's, again,
they're all in bed together.
You can be, what's his name in that Julia Roberts movie where he was like, had a conspiracy theory? It's just called Conspiracy Theory, isn't it?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. You know, you can be Mel Gibson level on this, and please do the home game and follow up and share with us your details, dear listeners. But you don't even need to do that. You can just do the obvious math, which is she's got something to promote. This is not surprising, especially when you go to the mystery that the tabloids are actually trying to get us to solve, which was the first thing I mentioned when we started this segment, which is, will Kim and Kanye get back together? When you read those stories, you realize that there is this huge investment in what's going on with the lives of these people. What better way to get us to be interested in the lives of these people than create all these stories around Kim Kardashian hosting SNL? Do you remember what was following Kim Kardashian around while she was getting ready to host SNL?
Cameras
For
their Hulu show.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, and then you go over to TMZ. Well, let's not start with TMZ. Let's start with Page 6 first. Page 6 exclusive. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are not back together despite SNL. So at first you're like, well, are they getting back together? Are they not? This story says other stories have said these two are getting back together.
Yeah. All the stories leading up to SNL, you'll remember, were Kanye West is coaching her through. He's being uber supportive. He will be there to watch. He had, by the way, we've heard that he had some issues with some of the jokes that were inserted in Saturday Night Live. Doesn't matter. But the point is, his proximity to Kim has been all the headlines leading up to Saturday Night Live on Saturday.
Exactly. This exclusive, again, we can talk about where this comes from, because whenever there's an exclusive, generally speaking, here on the Colleen and Bradley show, we imply that means
a call is coming from inside the house.
And in this particular story, an insider tells Page Six, nothing's changed. Kim dropped her married name multiple times while hosting SNL, but they're not back together. He's still her family and their friends. They've been working on their friendships for the kids and continue to support each other. He'll always be her family and they'll always support each other. Okay, so that story just kind of goes on and on. But what I will say is interesting. Okay, so now let's have that conversation. So we know that there's a reason why Kim was on SNL, because it creates this great platform for everybody to get the word out about all of their different projects. It also gives Hulu, ratings. That gives, all the stakeholders, or I should say not ratings, eyeballs, which in turn is ratings. So we know all that. But let's go to that actual story about Kim and Kanye getting back together. That to me seems like it's going to be a huge topic of discussion in the upcoming series that lands on Hulu.
Because even though the Kardashians have moved their platform to Hulu, we're still dealing with the Kardashian space-time continuum, which means that they will control the narrative of what we should be wondering. They will feed us the information of what we, and that is the global we. It is not the present we, because we don't actually watch their crap. Yeah. But there will be a narrative in the headlines, in the tabloids, that will be telling us how we should be thinking or what we should be wondering. And really all that is the planting the seeds of what they're going to resolve in whatever this project is.
And I think you could make a case that one of two things will happen. They will get back together, or they won't. And you could write the storyline yourself. But I will say, in the story about them hanging out together for Saturday Night Live, at one point, one story talks about them being in different hotels, but another story shows the pictures of them coming out of the same hotel. I mean, it's not that he couldn't have gone to her hotel or something like that. I just think there is so much less interested am I in that story, because ultimately I don't think that story's been told yet.
Right.
So trying to guess it is kind of like trying to determine what the weather's going to be like on April 1st of 2023. I mean, sure, you could probably make a somewhat educated guess, but ultimately we're not going to know until we get there. And ultimately, do we even really care? Because to your point, and to the point that I think this entire segment is trying to make, we are just a pawn in Kris Jenner's game. This is Kris Jenner creating narratives through tabloids to get people to have an opinion about whether Kim and Kanye are together or not, or what they're doing post going away from each other, whatever you call it.
I think it's been really interesting, actually, to see the headline cavalcade following her performance on Saturday Night Live, because it is very much like the second that aired, Kris Jenner went into overdrive. Because suddenly every headline the next day, listen, I watched with a critical eye. I did not actually think she did a great job.
Yeah.
But every headline in all of the major tabloids that we typically see deliver Kardashian news was all about how she killed on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Amazing. She did amazing. You're doing amazing, honey. Like it was.
But if you paid attention, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, almost to a T, it was all about how well she did. And then it was a very quick pivot to these headlines about, will she and Kanye get back together? Which does what? It squashes any conversation that isn't, she did great on Saturday Night Live. Now we have two competing narratives that can push down any voice that is saying, she wasn't really that good, you guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great.
And also, that's not the point. The point was not Kim Kardashian doing well on Saturday Night Live.
It never was. And that's the mistake you make if you are just critiquing a performance.
So there's a story, the other story that made me go, oh, I see the mystery that that Kris Jenner would like us to believe, aka what the tabloids are saying about Kim and Kanye, whether they're or not they'll get back together. The other story that led me to that particular part of this conversation was on TMZ, and it says Kanye West, massive Wyoming ranch on the market.
Oh, yeah.
More signs of reconciliation with Kim. Breaking news. So it's not just a regular story. It's a breaking news story on TMZ. And any story on TMZ about a Kardashian or a Kanye West is probably coming from
Kris Jenner.
Yes. And the story basically says he is selling his property. It's back on the market for less than he bought it for. Or I should say, wait. Yeah, it's $11 million, which is $3 million less than the asking price when he bought it in 2019. So that is leading some, including this story, to postulate perhaps, even though it's totally uncertain, it says, many believe. Don't you just love that language?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Did I not just live through the last however many years in this world, this media landscape, where you hear people say, many believe, which means nobody in particular.
Right. But
Kris Jenner would like you to believe.
Also, okay. I'm just going to make this argument sound more valid by acting like a lot of people have been talking about it.
Everybody's talking about it.
People are talking. Who are people?
Many believe that his infatuation with Wyoming and spending a lot of time and living and working there caused a major rift in his marriage. Kim even broke down crying there once during a meeting in the summer of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
So, with increasing signs that they're trying to work it out, including being together for
Saturday Night Live.
Recent SNL gig. You gotta wonder, says TMZ.
Why?
If his real estate move signals something more.
Oh, stop.
Do I gotta wonder?
It. No.
Resist, people. Resist.
Yes. So we have now, in the first segment of a 3-hour show, given you the keys to solving one of the tabloid's greatest non-mysteries. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you didn't even have to pay for it.
No.
But you did have to sit through us talking about Kim and Kanye, so I apologize.
You're welcome.